Hello and welcome to stage 4 of All or Nothing. We are racing for our Koenigsegg Jesko, and I still have no upgrades at all. So we will see how this works. Some people have asked what my driver settings are. I do put that in the description of the video, but I'll tell you here, it's tilt B controls, all assists off, and I use steering sensitivity 2. That's what I use for almost everywhere in the game. Now, you want to start braking before that wall ends, because you want to get hooked up pretty quickly here. And I'm going to power out of this. You got to get on the brakes a ways before Eau Rouge, which is this corner here. The slight left is Eau Rouge. The next big right is Radion. On the gas nice and early so that you can, slip there, but still, the bots always take that section, Eau Rouge, Radion. They take it pretty bad. So get hooked up. Oh, and I missed referencing my braking point back there. There's kind of signs on either side of the track. You want to get on the brakes just after that. Something about this distance, you can almost get all this drafting in one lap, which of course is impossible if that was actual meters, right? Now, this is my first chance to correct this. Okay, so you've heard me talk about Roman cubits before, maybe? Well, not if this is your first time watching this video. Okay, the unit of measurement you're seeing is not meters and it's not yards. Somehow it ended up at something bizarre, which works out to 44.444 centimeters or 17 point like something 4849 inches. I forget it actually. But someone recently told me, because I would say you get 2.5 meters for every meter you travel. That's not accurate. You get 2.25 meters or 2.25 meters for every 1 meter you travel. Developers have no idea how this happened. It just is, and it can never get changed because it would ruin all flashbacks. So it just becomes like a unit of measure in a game. It doesn't really matter, but there's been some races where the amount of drafting was actually longer than the tracks. So here I got a decent amount in, not almost a full lap. Oh, looks like I did, hey? Hard to see here. Yeah. No, I didn't. Okay, so still no trouble. I'm hooked up with Zoe very nicely. I'm going to get on the brakes a little bit early going into Eau Rouge because I don't want to plow Zoe off the track. And then I'll get Zoe. Was I saying Zoe again? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Zoe. That's the proper way to say that name. It's hard when you can't hear someone say their name, and especially it's fictitious, not a real person. Anyhow, this isn't too difficult. It actually really was at first. It probably took me... actually, this might have taken me 10 tries. And oh my goodness, just the attempt before this one, I got to the last chicane. I got a little bit stupid, and I went off track. This is hardcore, this one's hardcore. You go off track for just a fraction of a second, boom, you're done. At least it was for me. I'm kind of curious to see if everyone's having that happen. I referenced a race during stage 3 that I thought instant failed me, but then I could see Speedmaster was off track for a huge amount, and other people said that they could be, so I must have mixed up 2 races. I was sure it was that one, but obviously not, unless I'm getting a glitch. But it did say no off track. Well, regardless, sometimes the developers put something in the description and they forget to do it. Okay, so after this little slight bend coming up, you actually have to get on the brakes quite a lot, which is unexpected for these cars. Brakes are pretty horrible in this car, granted. Got to get on the brakes right when this yellow-red rumble strip starts. And that's about it. Now I'm going to let this guy behind me catch up a little bit, just in the interest of bot management. And, well, there you go. That's the end of that stage, and let's get on to the really difficult challenge. Okay, so I've saved these in several rounds. I wanted to show it to you, because you can just leave these uncollected. So I want to use that, because this is going to take me a bunch of attempts. I did a bunch of tests. I think I can make it with minimal upgrades, but let's take a look at this. Here's the upgrades I have. I'm skipping the suspension and the brakes. So everything is speed related, and there's one grip one, but there's also a bit of speed with the grip one. What I normally don't show you is my failures. I spent at least half an hour to 40 minutes on this. So here's me trying to push the limits of the track. Okay, obviously I can't do that. You've got to push the limits of this track so much. You've got to optimize all your braking points, very little skidding. And one major downside to a race like this is that you can finish in first place yet lose the event, because you have to be 27-2. It doesn't matter what the the time of first place is, you've got to beat 27 too. So the problem is, I've been increasing the bot difficulty unintentionally. So check this out. Oh, I was frustrated. Shockingly close. 27.285. I had one attempt that was even closer than that. Oh, I forgot to show you guys that one. It was 27.203. 3 thousandths of a second is what I missed it by. But this is the run. I'm not going to waste your time much. This is it. Tiny braking point here. Watch on your right, there's a billboard. And I start braking right before that. Got to optimize this so nicely. And then you got to go off track here, but you're not actually off track because it would fail me. And check it out. Oh, you won't believe how happy I was when I did this. I'm still happy. 27.111. I almost beat it fully by a full 10th. I am so excited. Let me tell you why. There's often a pivotal race in an event. That might have been the pivotal race. I might be able to finish all of stage 5 with only 5 upgrades. We'll see. I'm really happy. And here we go. This race, this one I didn't find too hard. This is what I call Frankenstein's car. So, not Frankenstein's monster, Frankenstein's car. I actually did a little video about this once. So my take on this is that Frankenstein was a mad scientist, and this is his great-great-great-great-grandson, who's just some sort of a mad engineer. And he had a whole bunch of Nissan Silvias that were dead, and he resurrected a monster. So, there you go. My vinyl design. I love my vinyl design on this one. Now, check this out. I am making a monster hypercar push me up Kemmel. Not easy, and the danger here is there's probably a couple of hypercars getting built up behind me, so I could end up getting wrecked. I gotta be careful. I'm holding him off pretty good, actually. Check out, oh yeah, there we go, Koenigsegg. So I got an F5 in front of me and a Koenigsegg Agera RS, I think. Obviously breathing down my bumper. I'm trying to make him push me, but I don't want to get the pit maneuver done to me. Oh, and another F5. I don't think this is a hard race. You just have to finish no further back than 19th. Now, I'm fully upgraded. Oh boy, these guys are pushy. Boy, push me then, you wiener. That looked like a regular Venom, right? Like not a Venom F5. Now, you got to be careful, especially here at Pouan Corner. Oh, no. Oh, maybe off track doesn't matter. I was totally off track. Oh my goodness, come on, man. Ease up a little bit, you venomous thing. Ha ha ha. Oh, what was that? Huh, I didn't get a good enough look. Anyway, I'm in 10th place. Another guy breathing down my bumper. I want someone to give me a push down this area. Ooh, another F5. Okay, so who's this? Can you give me a push for a bit? You gotta kind of, it's dangerous. You gotta perfectly block. You gotta perfectly drive where you know the bots drive. And you can gauge it just by watching. I mean, I'm not gonna play too much. You can watch the distance marker and try to keep that in the center of your bumper. And that means you're in the optimal spot. Whoa, man, get off my backside. Yikes. Little too aggressive there, man. You messed up my monster bumper. Oh, I'm not very happy. 13th place. Okay, maybe I'll give up a little bit more. I don't want to cut this really close because I don't want to do this all over again, honestly. A couple more. I can give up a couple more. Sure, why not? I'll give up a couple of more. And that's about it. Let's just call this a day. All right, so that one's easy. Another look at my monster livery there. Not a very good look, but I like that car. One of my favorites. I call him Frank for short. Now this, get ready for some amazing head-to-head racing. Clean head-to-head racing with no off-track driving. If you think I'm going off-track anywhere here, you're wrong. Not off-track according to the limits of Real Racing 3. And a lot of the times, the people who get on me the worst for being off-track, I find, don't actually know much about racing. Because they'll say stuff like, if you watch an actual Spa race, last chicane, people will take all 4 tires over the curb. I'm surprised they got that overtake. They'll take all 4 tires off track at once. Okay, watch carefully. Go on here and see these 2 billboards on either side? You gotta get on the brakes shortly after that. And I'm gonna do a little bit of blocking here. I went into a little bit too deep, so I should have got on the brakes earlier. If you don't throw it as aggressively as I did, you end up going off track when you're hitting that barrier. You gotta only just tap that barrier or you will be off track. So, I drove this in too deep on purpose. Zoe's right on me, which means I now have to drive more so where Zoe wants to drive, not where I want to drive. So I'm going to enter Puon Corner in the wrong way because I need to block Zoe. So this is really affecting my driving, but I don't want to just, I'm pretty sure Zoe's faster than me because I'm substantially under the recommended PR at this point, right? And I'll prove it to you after this. I'll show you again my upgrades, and you'll see, and you can see by the PR rating I had before I entered this race that I still have just 5 upgrades. So I'm really happy with that. I'm giving it my best shot. I know a lot of you guys count on me to try to show you the cheapest way to do this. So I'm doing my best, guys, but don't feel bad for buying all $R upgrades, all 7 of the upgrades, because that second race on stage 4 here was brutally hard. I do this to challenge myself, to force myself to become a better racer. Doesn't mean you need to do it. And that's part of where I often got better at the game. Like, I learned a little bit of something about, I'm trying to remember the name of that corner. Lacombe Corner. It's at the top of Kemmel. I now know I could take it a little more aggressively than I have in the past. And now let's see if I can get this braking point better. I want to brake out just after I go past those. I think that's pretty good this time. Let's see. Yes, that's nice. I'm not going to push this too much. And then here you can go surprisingly far off track without it actually being quote-unquote off track. This corner often stresses me out. I've blown it here so much. So I'm going to take it a little bit easy, but Zoe's starting to sniff around for my draft. I don't want you catching draft off me. Nuts. Now I have to drive where Zoe wants to drive, not where I want to drive. I'm going to see if I can lose Zoe the exit of this section here where we're getting back onto kind of the back curvy straight. I'm not sure what it's called, but it represents 22% of a lap. So this is a very important section. If you ruin this braking point, you're just wrecking a whole speed run. Oh man, Zoe's right on me. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm trying to stop Zoe from drafting too much or slipstreaming, but okay, this could get touchy. Oh my goodness, this is scaring me. This is my first attempt at this stage. Okay, on the brakes. I'm going to over-brake a little bit. I'm just going to control Zoe. If you know how to do this blocking, you can really control the bots. Okay, that does it. I'm going to actually reel Zoe in a little bit. I'm really happy with this. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, please subscribe. Please join me for stage 5. I'm going to go service all my other cars now, and here you go. You can see that I did it. Again, thanks so much for joining me today, and race you later.